Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for coming back to visit me here. Today, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about judgment and share some of the things that I've actually, come across or learned during my silent surrender. And once again, I hope this is something that you find helpful and that you can use to help you along in your journey to the soul. So, we're going to be talking about judgment. In one of my most recent meditations, I found myself just practicing, just allowing myself to just sit there and allow my thoughts to go by, floating like I described in my previous video, floating along in the clouds and not judging, just holding space. And there were many situations, many feelings coming up, many memories and things. I had happy memories flooded with many unhappy situations or memories that came up. And trust me, I know that we all carry baggages, and some of us more than others. If you grew up in a place where you weren't allowed to express yourself, and you would understand where I'm coming from. I grew up in an environment where speaking up and expressing yourself was not really looked upon as a great virtue to have. You were supposed to respect your elders and, not speak back, or what we say, talk back. And we'll get into some of that later in my other next videos to come, describing how we use when we go through traumatic experiences such as not being able to speak up and express ourselves, how we create a really big block in our throat chakra. So later on we'll discuss, we'll do each chakras, and then we can go through. I'll share some of my experiences and how I came to understand how I unlocked the blockages within my chakra system. But for now, we're just going to be talking about judgment. Okay, yes, so judgment. Now, as I was meditating, and I had a lot of feelings come up, and our first instinct is to, of course, remember and feel that feeling. We feel it in our body, and we remember. And then if it's an unpleasant experience that we had gone through, we're most likely to start picking and dissecting the situation and casting judgments. And I realized that while doing that, it was bringing me great sadness, because I started to look at it differently, the situations. Some of them where I started to feel like the other person's, feelings, and trying to understand where that person was coming from. And it just made me really sad, and I just suddenly felt myself full of compassion for that person, and I felt immediately that I may have been wrong, and then it brought me to realize that I used judgment because of how I was triggered, and I was casting my own judgments on the situation and not exactly what was really probably going on in the actual event, because I automatically started I looked at the situation and I thought, well, this person is this way, or, this person is mean, and this person is looking at me a certain way and judging me wrong. So I'm just going to have to defend myself. And, they're this way because they are purposely trying to hurt me. Instead of, well, during my meditation, I realized that in that moment, I was looking at it differently, and I was looking at it from a different standpoint, where I was thinking, what was that person feeling at the time? Why did they react to me that way? What came over them to want to treat me the way they were treating me, or saying the things they were saying to me, or reacting to me the way they're reacting? And then I started looking at their perspective instead of mine, and I just seen it in a different way. I seen it in a different light, and that impacted me, and it made me realize that what we tend to do when we find ourselves in situations, because our ego is bringing up these emotions and triggering us to feel or remember traumatic experiences based on a situation, we automatically switch back to react a way to defend ourselves, to protect ourselves, and put us in this survival mode. And then I realized that if we take the time while in a situation like that to sit quietly, hold space for that person, allow them to express themselves, and try to understand where they're coming from, why they're behaving the way they're behaving, what triggered them, what did I trigger in them, what is it that I might have said, or what is it about me that's creating that for them. And then you'll find yourself feeling a whole other way, like you're able to hold space for that person and let them express themselves. And I don't know, it just suddenly, I don't know if I'm right about this, but I feel like I'm able to have some sort of forgiveness and deep understanding, compassion. Like I can see the pain in that person. And well, of course, I'm feeling guilty now for my behavior in the past, but I'm learning that even if I feel guilty, it's not something that I was aware of, and I'm going to forgive myself for that. But moving forward, I'm going to obviously try to practice this, because I think this is one of the key things that we as a whole, as a collective, have been so programmed to assess and judge a situation based on our feelings. We weren't told to, or maybe you guys were, but I wasn't told anything growing up, how to control my feelings or control. I was just told never to express them, so I just held it in. And when you hold your emotions in, you're raging at people. But anyways, that's a whole other discussion. But for now, I just wanted to talk about the judgment aspect of things, and I hope that while you practice your meditation or your silent surrendering, you will come across some of these situations that you remember, memories, good or bad, and when they do arise, I want you to try to put that space, hold that space in that moment, and you'll feel something change inside of you. Because my experience was, I actually came to broke down and like sobbing tears because of my actualization, what I realized in that moment. And it hurt me deeply because I know that in many of the situations that I loved the people that I interacted with, but my behavior didn't show that. And it hurt me deeply because I can't go back and I can't go back and change that for them. And I've created a behavior or an experience for them as well. And, you can't change that. So going forward, if you find yourself facing this, I hope that you're able to use this and, it's helpful for you in some way. All right, so that's what I wanted to come on here today and talk about. And I wanted to say thank you for coming on here for this quick message. Have a wonderful afternoon or the rest of your day. Thank you.